traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elconin. Welcome to Pre-Market Info.
Facebook. It's going to be all about Facebook. Rallies not even 17% now. In the last couple minutes, it's rallied another 2%. It's 19%. The stock is up after reporting earnings last night. Netflix, EMC, Bristol Myers, and Lilly don't do nearly as well. They're all down and they disappointed. But Boeing, Dow Chemical, VMware, and AT&T are all trading higher after their reports. And then tomorrow we'll look at Amazon, Apple, and Procter & Gamble all report earnings. Facebook, it is insane this morning.
Yeah, good report there, huh?
Good report, 12 cents against estimates of 11, so they beat by a penny. But it's that year-over-year ad revenue growth that they're really liking, up to 36% from 28% last quarter. So that's what's driving it higher. Mobile ads were increasing, and it looks like they're finally finding their way. At least that's what the market thinks. It's traded 4 million shares today, trading up at 23.12. Wow.
Can you say short squeeze?
Oh, short squeeze for sure. It actually traded down on the initial report, believe it or not. The stock closed at 1950, got down to 1851, so sold off almost a point on the initial report, and then they turned around and started buying it, and it has not looked back. It just keeps on rallying. I'm not sure. You got to think it's going to maybe run into trouble at those highs that we had in September.
Yeah, you did. Actually, we're quickly approaching that triple top from mid-December there. 23.24, you had a double top the previous day there, 23.37. So that's going to be resistance where you haven't quite got up to that level. We've only gotten to 23.23 in the pre-market. I don't know, a couple different things. I mean, obviously you have the short squeeze on with a very high short interest. Number two, I think you had this major period of consolidation here, really basically over the last couple weeks. And I think what you might see here at some time today is, some short-term to intermediate-term players, accumulating large positions. I mean, what else would you have with consolidation in a stock like that? They're only looking for a couple point pop. They're not looking for this thing to go back up to $38 where I was bullish, but I think you got to see some kind of profit taking in this stock.
I don't know. A lot of analysts coming out and giving it some love here too. Citigroup upgrading it, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch upgrading it, RBC Capital giving positive comments. A lot of analysts jumping on the bandwagon here. I'm going to tell you something though, just from my own personal experience here. Of course the ad revenue is going to go higher because they threw so many ads in my face last quarter. They surrounded all the pictures with ads. In between your individual posts there was ads in the mobile device. I mean, they were throwing new ads everywhere. So that's why I think it went up, just not the fact that they were clicking on these ads more, it's just these ads were everywhere. So I just don't know if that's going to annoy everyone in the long run and actually turn people off. So short run, yeah, this is great for the company. They're getting more ad revenue. They're clicking on it. But when you have that many ads thrown in your face, I'm like, this just not even fun when I'm getting this many ads in my face. So I don't know long run if that's really the way to go. But short run here, it seems to be working.
So they can put, I mean, this, I'm showing my Facebook ignorance here. So basically, your pictures they can slap ads on.
Well, it's in the mobile device. They'll have like your friend posted up, and there's some pictures, and then in between your friend's posts, they were putting ads in between your friend's posts. So basically, if you go onto your wall, there's a whole bunch of pictures, whole bunch of postings of what everybody's done today. So if you have like a couple hundred friends, you get like some posts, new updates like every minute, almost every couple of minutes. Well, in between those, they're putting ads now. So you'll scroll down, you see some pictures, and you'll see an ad. Then you scroll some pictures, you see some ad. You didn't see that before on the mobile device, so they're sticking them. I guess it's smart. They're sticking them in between there, hoping you'll click on them. But I mean, at the same time, I just find it annoying.
Did you
So
click on any of them?
no, 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 of course not. But but some people must be, either whether it's accidental or they were just interested. They're smart about it though. Like they put ads, they know what you're looking at, they know your profile, so they're putting stuff up there that might interest you. They try to figure out where you're at, so they try to do couponing to local restaurants or something. So they're smart about it. I mean, they're directed ads, but at the same time, you keep throwing them in my face like that. I find it annoying. I really find it annoying. I find Twitter to be a much better product. I think a lot of younger users are actually using Twitter more than Facebook now, just from other people that I've talked to. I've got a younger brother-in-law, 20 years old, talked to a few of his friends, and they all love Twitter. So it's hard to say whether we're going to, continue this run up here, and this is they finally have figured out the way. But I'm just saying I'm a little bit more cautious than I think everybody else is here, just because I think the reason that there's more ad revenue is simply they've just thrown so many more ads in your face. So
Okay, well, you got me on the DuPont bet yesterday, actually, very quickly. It traded up. Didn't even have a chance to card that one up. But in the midst of what's going on here, I think I would be comfortable in saying that we'll see 22.20 before 24.20 today.
yeah, but I'm bearish, so why am I going to do that?
All right, forget it. I won't.
I'm on
I
the same
won't.
side as you, so I'm not going to go against what I'm thinking here. I think these tops here, well, obviously you get above
Okay.
here. You get above this 23.35, 23.40 area. It does open up a bit, but I think you might struggle there. It's hard to say. We're only 15 cents away from there, so maybe it's a lower short until it starts getting up above 23.50, 23.60. But everybody's jumping on the bandwagon here, so who knows where this thing can go short run.
Well, if
Long run,
everyone's
I don't
jumping
want to
on
own
the
it.
bandwagon, then it's time to get off the
Well, that's
bandwagon.
what I'm saying. Long run, I don't think I want to
Okay.
own this. Short run, though, who the hell knows? Netflix reported they absolutely are getting destroyed this morning. They beat estimates, but they cut their estimates for their streaming subscriber additions. They cut it to 4.1 million or to 5.4 million. The estimates were up at 7 million. So they're not going to get as many subscribers going forward. They're basically saying that's not good. Stock trading down 17% at 56.71. You just got to look at all these lows in this 54 to 55 area. I think that's where the stock's probably heading.
Yeah, I mean, to talk about the pre-market high, may never see that level again. But looking, you got an immediate spike down when the news came out. You got a spike down to 55.58. And basically, the pre-market trading pattern here is just kind of, I don't even call it a rounding bottom because it's just flat. It seems to be that some shorts are looking to bring something in around the 56 and a quarter, 56 and a half area. Much different than Facebook. The volume here, Dennis, not as strong.
Yeah, 35,000 shares, but this was trading there last night too, so I think this is a real move. I don't think you're going to see this thing bounce back here right off the bat, but if it gets down that 55 area, you could see a little bit of a dead cat bounce, as you would say, Joel, but not looking good for Netflix longs.
Yeah, 52.81 has been the low of the move back on August 3rd.
Boeing beat BA. Stock trading significantly higher here. $1.35 against estimates of $1.13. They raised guidance, did everything right here in the quarter. Stock trading up at $75 after closing at $72.82. Wow, what a move for Boeing. It's flying.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Beat you
The
to it.
initial spike when the news came out took it up to 75 and a half. Now, since we've hit that 75 and a half level, we're just coming down, just trading here at 75. Boy, this is a big move for Boeing, a stock that trades decent volume. So there's going to be a lot of offers in the book getting taken out on the close here. People are just saying, hey, I wanted to sell it 73, 73 and a half. I'll sell it 75. You have a very nice topping formation. Well, it used to be at 74, 23, and 26. That was a double top. If we can't hold this $75 level, I would look as 74.30 as support. After you break above the pre-market high, if you can get above 75 and a half, you do have a high up near 76, but
The
I don't know.
76 looks huge if you were to continue to
Yeah,
rally. I
yeah.
think it gets up there, definitely finds sellers, but I don't even know if it's got enough gas to get there. Will be interesting though. I'd keep that 76 number in my head too if it starts trading significantly above 75. AT&T reported there too, Joel. Stock trading a bit higher here, beat by a couple of cents. 35.30 is where it's trading right now after closing at 35 bucks. So you got this whole potential double bottom thing in place now with AT&T, with yesterday's low and with a low back from the 12th there, 34.83. Yesterday's low, 34.91. If the stock continues to rally, technicians will say, oh, nice double bottom in a value stock where it found support back in July. So what do you think? Should we be buyers of AT&T or what?
Wow, the initial spike took this thing up to 35.70 on just absolutely no volume. Spiked down after that, back down to 35.15. Now that people have calmer heads are prevailing, we just got a spike up to 35.47. And that coincides nicely with the highs from the two previous days. You had a 35.39 high, 35.47 high. So keep a close eye on that level, 35.5. In fact, we can break above there. You might be migrating towards that overnight high. But as of right now, Dennis, you could have that potential double bottom there. You get any kind of pullback to the 35 area, you should find monster support.
Dow Chemical reported earnings, restructuring too. They're cutting some expenses, closing some plants, cutting some jobs. I guess the market's liking all that because the stock is trading up $1.50 on that news. 30.05 is where it's at right now after closing at 28.55. Keep in mind the last week or so we've had a high up there at 30.48. Pre-market, I think we got to a similar spot, did we not?
Yeah, we got it to 30.40 in the pre-market. This stock had a rough couple days ahead of earnings, but so again, did the market. Now you're getting this pop. Decent volume, 150,000. Keep eye on that 30.40, which was the pre-market high. That coincides with the 30.48 level that you had only 4 days ago.
EMC reported earnings. They missed. Stock was really getting beat up earlier. Joel will go find that pre-market low for you because it has bounced back. They only made 28 cents. We're supposed to make 42, so they missed big time here. But keep in mind, VMware reported last night. EMC owns a big chunk of them, and VMware beat, and they're trading up at 85.01. So that could be helping the EMC miss a little bit here. But how low did that stock get there in the pre-market?
It actually got down to 22.90.
And you gotta look at these old lows, even if you're trading the things in the pre-market, because look where it got down to in July: 22.85, 22.79. Kiss is down there at the 22.90 area, and we've rallied $1.20 since then. So you think the stock is weak? It's not really. It's already bottomed and is on its way back up. Man, this is coming back on 1.3 million shares.
Didn't you have a wild ride in EMC VMware last time they had earnings or something? Or there was
remember. I may have. I trade that pair quite a bit. So obviously, when they both have earnings and they do that, they have earnings almost at the same time. So you can't really, have a pair on for them. But the VMware will often follow the EMC a little bit just because EMC owns such a big chunk of them. But it's, and there are obviously some similar businesses there too. But VMware was well last night. EMC was actually trading up 50 cents on the VMware earnings last night, but then they came and report and basically shit the bed, and the stock got all the way down to 22.90 here in the pre-market. But it's coming back.
Yeah, last three highs here have been between 24.86 and 25.16. So someone's definitely targeted that entire $25 area as an exit point. We're still a buck away from there, so I don't think we're going to see that today. Keeping an eye on yesterday's low, 24.50, and the close, 24.68, will act as good resistance, especially since this stock is traded, as low as 22.90.
Couple pharmaceutical companies reporting this morning. Bristol Myers missed by a penny. Revenue was a bit light, 41 cents against estimates of 42 cents. It's trading down about 75 cents here, 32.50 after closing at 33.24. Has come back too though, because this stock just on some light volume. I think it got some prints under 32, did it not?
The low, yeah, just under there, 31.99.
Yeah.
Looked like an odd lot traded there earlier today. You spiked up after making that low at 33. Just have to keep an eye on yesterday's range, 33.75 is the high, quite a ways away from there. But yesterday's low, 33.10, should be good resistance. 33 is the spike in the pre-market, so that entire area will be good resistance. The only thing it just interesting and won't have relevance to the trading today, but I noticed that this stock quite a while ago had a huge gap down and got up to the lower part of that gap area at 34 and a half and it's kind of peeled back. But if this can get back above and hold 33, it has a chance to rally. If not, I see it going back down to the 32.50 area.
33 is a good bogey on that one. Lilly reported earnings too. Obviously, it had been flying the last couple of weeks off possible news on their Alzheimer's drug. It was just a couple test results that thought that that drug has a chance to get to market. There's some good positive comments from Goldman Sachs too, who has been wrong lately on a number of occasions because stock is selling off here this morning. It's down 90 cents, trading 51 bucks after closing at 51.91. They missed by 4 cents, 79 cents against estimates of 83. But you got to think some of these pharmaceutical companies, these things have been selling off lately. Like, there's been a big sell off in Abbott Labs. And obviously Bristol Myers showing a bit of weakness. And Lilly pulling back here a bit. 50 bucks is enormous on this stock, though.
Yep, I was just going to point that out. 50 was the low after you had the big run up to 53 double on the Alzheimer drug. After that, boy, you went back up to 54, and I
Wall
don't
up
know
there.
if we had talked about it that day, if there was someone lurking at 54 with a couple million shares or whatever, but that doesn't look like it's going to come into play today. Let's use yesterday's low as minor support here, 50.56. After that, could get a test of that $50 level.
I almost think eventually some people may come back into these drugs and start looking at them as value plays again. I know we get a little sector rotation. We get some. They've kind of been selling everything right now, and the Abbott Labs selling off so significantly has everybody a little bit nervous in the pharmaceutical area. But I almost think eventually some of these stocks are going to start to find support again and start to rally again. But it's hard to say. Apple reports tomorrow. Joel, that's obviously going to be huge. A crazy, volatile day for the stock again. Releases the iPad mini, and then the stock just fell off 20 straight points.
Well, it's crazy as this stock's been. You have a pretty good pattern here. Look at those three lows between 609.62 and 611.70. I guess in a $600 stock, you call that a triple bottom. Going back on the upside, you had three highs between
Yeah.
631.77 and 635.38.
It's like 3 days of the same range. How often do you
Yeah,
see that? Three huge bars, 22-point range, almost all identical. It's crazy.
it's funny when when you have a day like you did in this thing on Monday, and closes up near the high of the day. You do the numbers, you look at the levels, and you try and figure out a trading approach for it, and the trend was definitely up. But then if you look to see if this thing went into reverse, what level was there to really support it, and there wasn't anything. You could just see some position squaring in this thing ahead of earnings, using that 610 as major support. And if we get anywhere near back 630, I think you'll find major resistance. Calling for an inside day in Apple today.
Remember Google, for all you Google Apple pair traders, that spread is starting to tighten here. It's only about 55 points now, where it got up to about 130 there just a couple weeks ago, obviously before Google's massive sell-off. Google finding a bit of support here the last few days on this whole 670 area.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a longer term swing player and you don't mind losing a few points on a trade here, You definitely have a reference point here at the 670 level. 672 was the excuse me, the low on Friday, as well on Tuesday. The panic low move of the move has been 669.70. Kind of coincides with some lows that you had in this stock a few months ago before the big run up. So good risk reward here. I mean, obviously now you're 15 points away from that 670 level, but I like traders to just keep a focus on that over the next few days.
Amazon reports tomorrow as well. The stock has been selling off ahead of its earnings report. It's up a buck this morning at 235. What do you think about Amazon going in?
Man, it's not quite as big a market mover as Google is on earnings. Take a look at the pre-market activity. You just kind of floating up here around the 235.88 level. 238.95 was the high on Monday. I'd focus on that as resistance. Major, super major double support here at the 231 level. You also had the low at 230.01 yesterday, low a while ago back at 231. So as long as this thing's holding 230, has a chance to head back up. Under 230, it gets ugly.
They had a huge spike back in July off their earnings report, which you can see right here. The stock has slowly started to give some of that back. If it does disappoint, you got to go back out to all those July lows in the whole 210, 212 area. I'd keep that in mind, which is about 25 points down from here. But I think you're going to see some movement in this one. I think it's going to rally 15 or 20 points or fall off 15 or 20 points on the earnings report. So I'd expect some volatility tomorrow after this one reports. One more that reports tomorrow that we always talk on the show is Procter and Gamble. The stock has been breaking down, not looking good. It's kind of been, again, everything's been selling off, and a lot of these value plays have been selling off as well. $68 now looks like it should be critical resistance for this stock. What do you think there, Joel?
Well, after that huge run up there, you started to run into trouble at the nice round number of 70, and now people are, trying to sell this thing on the slide. You have yesterday's low here at 67.26. That should be minor support. You had a double bottom at the 66.89 to 67.01 level. So 67, I'll call that major support. Coming back on the upside. Do see that 68.13 high from yesterday. Have to agree with you there. I think sellers will be stepping down to that nice round number is 68.
Let's just close with Facebook once again because it has continued to rally here. It's trading 23.64 now, so it is now trading above these three highs that we pointed out. I mean, you got to go out now. I go back to that July high of 24.54, and then you got the gap before that. So I don't know, man. I don't know where this one stops. I think it's hard to step in front of it. Hard to step in front and short this thing long term. If I was long the thing, man, I'd be dumping it. But it's just so hard to put a short on here when stock just continues to rally. People are getting squeezed here. It's trading 9.2 million shares. I mean, really,
Wow.
it's just got a mind of its own right now.
Yeah, I mean, you could have been halfway on your bet there, but you wouldn't take it. And one thing that I've noticed with these stocks in the pre-market when they have these kind of accentuated moves, it's good to try and wait. If you are trying to short it, you should try and wait until as long as possible. Like 920, 925. Sometimes you see these stocks, make a high and then see how the stock reacts at that level when it actually opens and even more volume comes into this. But the volume has doubled basically during the time of our broadcast.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really moving here. So SPOOs are trading up 6. Everything's looking a bit higher here. We couldn't quite get under the 1400 level there yesterday. Just getting down to 1402. We drew the monster support line at 1395. I would have loved it to got 7 points lower just to try some longs, but it was a little bit early for me at 1402. Hopefully maybe some of our listeners took a shot at it, and if they did, they're already up 10 points. But gets back down that 1400 area, and the 1395 area is major support down there.
Okay, just looking at the pre-market high, 14.75. That coincides with yesterday's intraday high of 14.1450. So that should act as resistance. If in fact you get above there, minor resistance at Monday's low at 14.1675. But I really don't see anything major up here until it's quite a ways away at 14.30, which was Monday's close. But Dennis, you won't be doing any advertisements for 5 Hour Energy today.
You're gonna see a lot of volatility here today. That's our show for today, folks. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow.